The story begins with Mitch Rapp, who is capturing footage on a beach alongside his girlfriend Katrina, as they enjoy a calm and joyful moment together. In a heartfelt gesture, Mitch presents his mother's engagement ring, expressing his intention to propose. Overwhelmed with happiness, Katrina gladly accepts his proposal. Mitch then excitedly heads toward the bar to fetch some drinks, drawing applause from onlookers who witness the romantic moment. Tragically, the serenity of the beach is abruptly shattered when a group of radical jihadists suddenly emerges and opens fire on the unsuspecting beachgoers. In a desperate race against time, Mitch rushes toward Katrina, but before he can reach her, she is brutally shot and killed by the ruthless jihadist leader Adnan al-Mansur. 18 months later, Mitch is living alone in an apartment. Determined to strengthen himself both physically and mentally, he devotes his time to kickboxing training, although his impulsive and aggressive nature frequently results in him being expelled from the classes. Meanwhile, Mitch begins engaging in online conversations with Mansur, driven by his desire to infiltrate Mansur's extremist cell and take revenge on everyone responsible for Katrina's death. As their interactions progress, Mansur questions Mitch about the Islamic faith, completely unaware that these conversations are being closely monitored by CIA Deputy Director Irene Kennedy. Eventually, Mitch receives an invitation to rendezvous with Mansur at a hidden location, with Mansur believing that Mitch intends to join his extremist cell. Upon arriving at the location, Mitch finds himself tied to a chair. However, he quickly begins devising a plan to escape and carry out his revenge by killing the entire cell. Before he can act, a sudden raid takes place as a special forces team storms the compound and swiftly kills Mansur and his men. Overcome with rage and uncontrollable emotions, Mitch grabs a knife and repeatedly stabs Mansur's lifeless body until he is forcibly restrained and dragged away. Later, confined in an interrogation room, Mitch comes face to face with Irene Kennedy, who already knows everything about his past, including Katrina's murder and the tragic car accident that killed his parents when he was just 14 years old. Completely consumed by his thirst for revenge, Mitch is mentally locked onto a single goal. Recognizing Mitch's potential, Kennedy makes the critical decision to recruit him into Orion, a highly secretive Black Ops program. The program is overseen by Stan Hurley, a Cold War veteran and former Navy SEAL. Kennedy transports Mitch to Hurley's headquarters to begin his training. Upon arrival, Hurley immediately underestimates Mitch as a recruit. As training begins, Hurley instructs the recruits in various combat techniques, including a specific method for incapacitating enemies by targeting the throat. He also emphasizes that if capture is imminent, they must put a bullet in their own heads. One exercise places the recruits inside a simulated department store, where they are ordered to neutralize assigned targets. Mitch becomes overly aggressive, repeatedly firing at the targets. In another training scenario involving simulated enemies, Hurley deliberately manipulates Mitch's emotions by placing Mansur in his line of sight, even though Mansur is not designated as a target. Meanwhile, a group of criminals gathers to negotiate the sale of weapons-grade plutonium stolen from a Russian nuclear facility. Among them is a mysterious individual known only as Ghost. When two police officers approach the van where the deal is taking place, Ghost calmly invites them inside before killing them. He then eliminates the remaining buyers, opens fire on the surrounding police and crowd, and disappears without a trace. After watching the news report, Hurley identifies Ghost as a former protege, believed to have gone rogue, and supposedly killed in an airstrike that Hurley himself authorized. Kennedy immediately sends the team to Turkey to track down Ghost's buyer. In Turkey, the team meets their operative Annika Ogden, who pretends to be Mitch's wife as part of the mission. Their objective is to gather intelligence on the primary buyer, Sharif. However, the operation goes wrong when their cover is blown at a restaurant, leading to the fatal stabbing of one of their team members. As a result, Sharif escapes before they can capture him. After brutally extracting information from one of Sharif's henchmen, Mitch tracks Sharif to his hotel. He silently infiltrates the room, triggering a violent gunfight between Sharif's guards and Hurley's team when they arrive as backup. After the chaos settles, Mitch corners Sharif, who begs for mercy. At that moment, Mitch hallucinates Mansur standing in Sharif's place, causing him to kill Sharif and seize his laptop. Although Mitch believes he acted correctly, Hurley harshly reprimands him for disobeying direct orders. Hurley then reveals a recorded video of Katrina taken before her death, further fueling Mitch's rage. Hurley restrains Mitch and reminds him that personal emotions must never interfere with the mission. Later, in Rome, the team focuses on gathering intelligence about a physicist capable of weaponizing the stolen plutonium. While staying at a hotel, Annika tends to one of Mitch's. Annika tends to Mitch's injuries, and during their conversation, she casually mentions her determination to capture Ghost. Mitch is immediately intrigued and alarmed by her knowledge, especially since Ghost's name had not been mentioned earlier. Suspicious of her intentions, Mitch confronts Annika in the bathroom, where a physical struggle breaks out. Accusing her of being an Iranian intelligence operative, Mitch forces her underwater, applying pressure until she finally confesses, confirming his suspicions. Following Annika's capture, she is subjected to a formal interrogation. During questioning, it is revealed that she is indeed a mole working for Iranian intelligence. However, Annika explains to Hurley that her true motive is not betrayal, but prevention. She claims she was attempting to stop Iranian hardliners from acquiring the weapons-grade plutonium, fearing it would be used against Israel, potentially triggering a devastating international conflict. Hurley arranges a meeting with his trusted contact, who is also Annika's uncle, to resolve the issue involving Annika and the stolen plutonium. However, the meeting is suddenly disrupted when Ghost infiltrates the location. In a swift and deadly move, Ghost murders Hurley's contact on the spot. He then captures Hurley and takes him into custody. Hurley is subjected to brutal torture as Ghost attempts to extract information about the CIA team. Using pliers, Ghost ruthlessly tears out Hurley's fingernails, inflicting extreme pain. Despite the excruciating torture, Hurley remains unbreakable and refuses to reveal any information. During the interrogation, Hurley deliberately calls Ghost by his real name, Ronnie, in an attempt to unsettle him. Continuing his sadistic methods, Ghost drops a spark plug into a bucket of water and places it near Hurley's feet, escalating the threat. At that moment, Ghost's associates, the Iranian hardliners, arrive to claim the weapon. Hurley seizes the opportunity to warn them that Ghost is manipulating them and playing his own game. Unmoved by Hurley's warning, Ghost coldly executes the hardliners, eliminating all threats. He then escapes with the weapon, leaving Hurley behind in a dire situation. Meanwhile, two hostile guards breach the CIA's safe house and locate Annika. Mitch reacts instantly, launching a rescue mission. Determined and relentless, he tracks down the guards and successfully rescues Annika. Together, Mitch and Annika pursue Ghost through an underground tunnel network, driven by their mission to stop him. In a desperate attempt to retain control, Ghost captures Annika and uses her as a human shield, holding her at gunpoint. In a tragic act of sacrifice, Annika shoots herself in the head to prevent Ghost from succeeding. Ghost escapes with the weapon, fleeing by boat, leaving Mitch devastated yet more determined than ever to bring Ghost to justice. Hurley deduces that Ghost intends to make his final stand at sea using the weapon. Upon learning of the imminent threat, the Sixth Fleet mobilizes its ships. Mitch boards the boat to confront Ghost, engaging in a brutal fight. Despite Ghost initially overpowering Mitch and stabbing him, Mitch manages to fight back. Using the knife techniques taught by Hurley, Mitch kills Ghost. Following Hurley's orders, Mitch sails the boat into open waters and disposes of the weapon by dropping it into the sea. Moments later, Mitch boards a helicopter with Hurley just before a massive underwater explosion creates a powerful sinkhole that nearly swallows the Navy's ships. Fortunately, everyone is rescued safely. After sustaining injuries, Hurley returns to the United States for medical treatment. While recovering in the hospital, he watches a news report featuring General Rostami, one of the Iranian hardliners, who is emerging as a leading presidential candidate. Rostami delivers a televised speech filled with threats against America. In the final scene, Rostami enters an elevator. As the doors close, he turns around and sees Mitch standing behind him, smiling. If you love this explanation, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks.